Hey everyone, let's unbox and take a look at the Scaled-Up Blue Astronaut Minifigure by LEGO Space. It's the set number 40921, contains 793 pieces, retails for $59.99, and the set was provided by the LEGO Group for early review. Thank you, LEGO. And yeah, this looks like we just make an upscaled minifigure, more or less. And I do remember these when I was a kid, just not so big. And yeah, looks like we also get to build ourselves some kind of droid here at the bottom too, and 1-to-1 for the top. So I'm hoping that's printed. Looks like it is. And here's the back of the box, and yeah, so he looks like he's posable, which is even better. Now I do have the Santa Claus variant, and it was pretty interesting nonetheless. Oh, so you gotta expose his brain, so now we know how he's controlled now. And here's the dimensions here. I'm hoping this shows up for you. It stands 26.8 centimeters tall or 10.6 inches tall, which is even better. And yeah, just by first impressions, I'm going to be honest, I'm not really into space. I'm not really feeling this one. If it's anything like the Santa Claus one, we're going to be in for a treat. Okay, let's open this up and let's go to outer space here. First we got to unpack the rocket ship. Maybe that's what this is a rocket ship. Okay. I think that's it. Oh, I don't see anything in there. That's pretty good so far. We haven't messed up. Oh, I haven't messed up. Let's see here. Alright, so we have number bags. A lot of the newer sets have number bags. It's, you know, back in the old days, a lot of the older sets didn't have number bags. You just had to take a stab at it. But now it's more or less pretty easy to do these builds with number bags. Well, so far we're at an 8. Now, does it come with the brick separator? I'm sure something this size probably does. We will find out eventually here. Well, I think that's it right there. That's the most important one there. So it looks like we get 8 bags of fun. And here's the building guide. So let's see here. Yes, indeed it does come with the brick separator and a bunch of parts. Now, if it's anything like the Santa Claus minifigure, it should have a bunch of other colors. So we have some yellow in there and stuff. So it doesn't look like this one has a whole lot of color variants in here. But I can't really say too much because I haven't built the set yet. But just by looking at this so far, I just feel like we're just going to be building an upscaled minifigure nonetheless. And, yeah. And here's a little bit of stuff in the book here. Just going to show it here now. And yes, I do remember some of these when I was a little boy. 1985. I don't know how many of these. I can't remember long ago. But, you know, the sad thing is, folks, I was alive when these were made. Not too bad at all. So I think this is going to be more of a trip down memory lane than anything else. Alright, before we begin, let's get into the disclaimer. And this is basically my review notes. These are not to be considered or construed as a professional product review, how-to, or tutorials, because I will probably most likely make mistakes in this set, you know, especially when they get big and complicated like this. You know, there's chances that I'll make a boo-boo. So watch the video all the way through. This will be broken down in a few installments. All opinions on here are mine and mine alone. LEGO doesn't tell me anything or how to say anything. The only thing is they say, here's a set. Just mention that it's provided by them. That's probably the only thing. At least LEGO is generous. They don't hand me a script to say. And yeah, everything here is just my critique. You know, your mileage may vary. And there was something else I had to mention when I was doing these, but just watch the series all the way through. And yes, I can't like every LEGO set. That's the thing. I may like this one, I may not like it, I don't know yet. All right. So yeah, my opinions and my opinions alone. Okay, so what I'm thinking about doing with this is I'm going to break this set down in probably 3 to 4 build installments. I'm thinking there's 8 bags, so we're probably going to see how this one goes. Obviously, when I can remember from the Santa Claus, yeah, I've had all these. What I can remember from the Santa Claus set, you know, that was pretty much about that. That's why I call these build previews. You know, we're taking a look here. Yeah, so bags 1 and 2 essentially does the torso. So I think in this installment we're going to focus on just that portion today. But just by looking at this set, though, it's more or less just a big fig. You know, these are more or less like a display piece you'd put on your shelf. You know, it just depends on what you want to do. You know, your mileage will vary. But honestly, though, I got to get the ring light here set up before we begin. But I mean, I think we're going to be in for a really good treat, and I got some stories to tell and some drama to share. So yeah, these will be also considered as vlogs too. Let's get this camera here a little bit more tilted for your entertainment here. All right, let's begin. Let's build it with bag number 1. And yeah, so it begins. Why didn't that bring back memories seeing those type of colors? Let's bring this in here so you can get the full flavor as I'm getting it here. Except for the orange. That's the color palette I grew up with when I was a kid. Not the millions of colors Lego has out now. Very basic stuff. And it feels like I'm getting that vibe of 80s style Lego. And yeah, I think Lego tries to keep everything pretty much close except for the gray. I don't think dark gray was around back then. But I think we are going to be in for a very fun treat today. Okay, well, let's get going here. And yeah, I think we are going to be having a little bit of fun here with this. Fun doesn't really exist in my vocabulary, so I will try my best here to make it as fun for you as I possibly can. So, where do I start today? All right, let's start with the bad news stuff. So, my dentist keeps changing his appointments on when he wants to see me. Every time I turn around, it's either in July or he wants to do it the following Monday. And I try to make a phone call. You get some pre-recorded message. We're out for lunch today. Call back at 1:30. Well, if I have to wait around that long, yeah, and that's just, I'm not going to have it there. And I think today is February 27th, 2026. It is a Friday, so happy Friday, everyone. I bet a lot of you are probably glad you're off of work and stuff. I wish I could say the same thing. I mean, I'm off work, but I may as well be at work because everybody's been kind of contacting me about things. Haven't heard anything from the eye doctor. They said 2 weeks my glasses will be done. It's been 2 weeks. I tried contacting them, and just like the dentist, we are out on a lunch break. We cannot assist you at this time. Pre-recorded message type stuff, and I'm just rolling my eyes thinking, really? I know it's Friday and all, but as long as I get a call in before 5 o'clock. My dentist just wants to clean my teeth and stuff. I got to go to my hygienist, so I got to get that done. That kind of thing. That's already stirred up a few fights around here because I'm trying to get a ride, which leads to the eye doctor. They said about 2 weeks my glasses will be done. I haven't heard anything back from them, so I'm going to contact them and find out where are they at. I got about a week left to get before I have to be at the DMV. Yeah, so I'm not having a very humble time. You know, I don't get, you know, sometimes things just, you want things to move fast and everybody's moving slow like turtles. So I've been trying to get things done here. And yeah. So that's it for the personal drama. Some people want to know about my life and stuff. You know, my life is not perfect by any means, so at least I'm transparent. I don't lie to you. I don't fib to you or anything like that. I tell you how it is. Struggles of being handicapped. It's not really that fun. Oh, there it is. And that's pretty much about it for the boring stuff. Not this, though. But I did manage, though, to get 4 tutorials done. I did 1 tree and some miscellaneous stuff. Stuff that I wanted to build that I had on my list, my bucket list for quite some time. So I managed to get that stuff going. And yeah, the set's still keeping my interest for those who keep in tabs. So I got some tutorials filmed. You know, sometimes even building something simple can be really complicated. And speaking of complicated, that looks scary, doesn't it? Well, let's get to it. It's got some Technic bricks, so I might be in for a bad nightmare here. But so I got some tutorials that are really good. Really good. One of them is going to be related towards the pizza shack that I'm building. So right now, once I can build all the accessories and have some building guides for these, I already got the interior stuff done. Maybe have to do some tweaks on builds. It shouldn't be all that bad to do. So hopefully I can get that going. You know, that kind of thing. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to break this set down into a few build installments. I'm thinking more of 4. You know, we don't need to have hour-long marathons because my schedule is so busy. I just got done wrapping up with something for work today too. You know, kind of did some of that. I don't get much of a break. So yeah, this is my only time right now is when everybody's sleeping. It's in the mid-afternoon. So that there is what I'm doing. I have been binge watching. I got a couple more episodes left on season 1 of ReZero, that anime of that, what's his name, Subaru. He jumps back into another world, and some pretty dramatic moments with that. If you haven't seen it yet, at first I was like, I don't know if I can get into this, but now I'm kind of hooked and I want to finish up season 1, so I've been watching that. And no, I don't know if I can say I'm an anime fan or not, but some of these cartoons are really addicting, so I've been watching that. So just to kind of get myself away from the daily grind of boredom. Okay, these must be for the joints. You know, I think these were mirrored. But you know what? We're going to just go with the flow here. I think it might be more of a help to you guys if I don't mirror them. It just depends. Plus, it's Technic. Boy, that is stiff. I bet that's probably for the joints. I bet it's going to be angled like that. I've watched that. I've been watching a little bit of Death Note. What other ones have I been watching? I think those are the only ones. So I'm not into, like I said, I'm not into anime by any means, but if you've got any good animes, drama, suspense, thriller, horror, I don't care if they're dark themed. As long as they're not romance, I'll be fine. I don't want to get into those. They can have romance in there, I don't care, but not where the main thing is lovey-dovey. Maybe I'll have to sit down and watch a romance and see if they're really any good before I pass judgment. But I'm just looking for something different to watch other than the regular news stuff that's just boring. And, you know, if I'm going to watch something that's depressing, I'm going to watch something that I'm going to watch because I want to watch it. Got to put that in there. So I think this is one of the joints here. And then now we got to do this here. So I've just been getting into anime just because it's something fun. And for my sidekick here at the bottom, I think I may have maybe been complicating things a little too much. I was thinking about using VTuber software instead and just do a 2D animation. I'm still going to work on the 3D version of it, but I'm thinking of just doing that. I don't know yet. Okay, this is where it's going to get kind of confusing, so I'm going to try to help you out. I think these pins here, okay, let me hold it the way that they're holding it here. So it's these pins here go in this hole and this hole like that. You see where those are at? I'm going to, because I know I'm going to get confused here too. Okay. Well, you survived that, huh? I mean, I survived. Not too bad. And then that's it for this one. So you may want to make a mirror, but did it tell us to put this in? Let's set that over there. Okay, now we got to do the other joint. Now I could have just mirrored these, but I didn't read ahead. So I mean, I've been getting into that ReZero anime, or should I just call it cartoons so I feel more manly? I don't know. But I've been watching just that, just binge watching. Just sometimes you got to let your imagination just run wild. I can't take life seriously. Sometimes I got to live carefree and just not worry about anything and what people say or think about me and stuff. And it's just nice to sit back and watch something and just imagine something. Getting into a storyline other than just on today's news today, more depressing stuff, and you're like, oh, okay, what do I do now? So yeah, I've been just kind of watching that stuff. Well, now we got a little experience. Now I can kind of put this one together a little faster here. I did get a rude comment about somebody said I complain a lot in these videos. Why do I, it seems like I hate every set. I don't hate every set that Lego sends me, right? I really don't. Just like I can't like every Lego set that Lego sends me. And, some YouTubers, it seems like they like every Lego set that Lego sends them. That's impossible. All right, here I cut it to you straight. I don't lie to you. I don't fib to you. If I don't like a set, I'm just going to tell you I don't like it. I'm not going to just, we're not going to do the smoke and mirrors thing. Okay, if I just don't like something, I'm going to be honest with you about it. Some people, though, I had one person that did this, and I said, would you rather just have me lie to you and tell you that, and tell you the set is positive? You know what? This person said, yes, please. I would prefer having a happy video. Okay? So I told him, I said, this is probably not the channel for you. It was on my main channel, though. Then I had another person really kind of just got a little angry with me about tutorials, why don't I do bigger tutorials? Why don't I have time to do daily tutorials? And he was like, I replied back to him. I was like, dude, I'm very busy with a day job. I'm working full-time right now. I'm taking care of a family. I just simply don't have time like I used to. He said, you're probably watching my older stuff. I had a lot of free time. I said, I really just don't have that kind of time to invest right now in just doing daily videos. Just no way. The reviews I can do because I'm building right now, and I just leak them out as I can. And Lego, I don't mean that kind of leak. Don't take that seriously, but that kind of thing. Okay, so this is actually not. This is actually goes here. Okay, so right here. Okay. So yeah, I can't do tutorials daily, guys and gals. If I was retired or on disability, I wouldn't mind. I'm not doing that. Maybe if worse comes to worse, I probably will, but right now I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about surviving daily, and that's just it. Also, I bought a new video game, but we will get into the video game thing here after I get done with this. And, you know, did I forget to put studs on the other one? I guess I must have. I don't remember putting blue studs on the other one here. Alright. And this obviously goes here to lock this together. Dry fit it. I'm just going to tack the bottom portion in first and then wiggle the top. And now if it doesn't feel like you're going to get that in there, just going to have to wiggle it in like that, and it should snap in place. I think I forgot those. I forgot them. No, not that. Messing up. Yeah, watch the video all the way through because I'll make mistakes. It's the same on both sides. I don't think it matters. And yeah, this is what we have remaining here for bag one. And this gets plopped onto that. This plus this equals that. So that's what those slopes were there for, to kind of weave all this in, but we're having problems here. Let's make sure we're not breaking things. So I think maybe there's a little bit of a gap there, but not too bad. And yeah, let's take a closer look here. Like I said, these are not tutorials or anything by any means, but somebody may get stuck on it, so I'm hoping that this will help you out. Hey, I survived that bag one. We got 7 more left to do. Alright, and we're going to be moving on bag 2 for this installment. I want to thank everyone on my main channel and Patreon for being contributors. It's always a big help. Helps me build my dreams, and you can be a part of the action too. In addition, if Patreon and memberships is not your thing, check out my Rubricable profile. I do have both free and paid building guides. These are essentially guides that I have developed over the years, and oh, that's printed. We'll take a look at that in a second. So my building guides obviously got to be good quality because I got to use them too, because I still use my own building guides today. And if there's something up there that you need me to do, probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month, I should have enough time to start putting building guides up. And finally, I want to thank everyone for taking the time to bear with my bad personality, my rough attitude, and watching my not so exciting content. I mean, you know, that kind of thing. And I'm making sure we're recording here. Good. Had one of these red pieces in the way and I couldn't tell. Yeah. Oh, I remember that all right when I was a kid, but much smaller. Yeah. That is a keeper. So in this bag here, we're finishing up the torso. So by the time we get done with this installment here, we're just doing this. I'm just breaking these videos down smaller. They're getting to be pretty intense. But yeah, some of these pieces didn't exist back in the 1980s, let alone the 70s, but what are we doing with this? So, making sure my battery is charged. Oh, I did find out something. My friend did help me out with my camera. The wireless module that's supposed to go in here, there's two versions. There's one for wireless, for Wi-Fi, and there's one for linking up with a news van. So we figured out how to set that up with a news with his news thing. But I need to buy an adapter just for Wi-Fi. I don't think I need to connect this up to some kind of satellite feed or anything. So this camera is like a news person's camera, be used out in the field. And it's meant to link up with like a news van for recording or streaming live. And unfortunately, I have to order a new adapter, so I may have to use the YouTube funding for that. That means when I'm done, I can just pull the files off the camera without plugging the camera in. Bet you didn't know that, huh? Snot methods. So pretty much, ooh, there's too much blue here. At least it's not white. Boy, this just brings back memories of putting this together. Okay, I got that in blue, but that's not what I need. I kind of sound out of it today. I'm just not really in a good mood, and there's been some drama that I'm just trying to avoid, so. Alright, this goes on the top here. Okay, like that. So using the plate here as a filler. Not too bad, it's pretty seamless here. But I've been looking for some other accessories to use with this camera. And my goal is to make things to where I can get things done very fast. Oh, they take this one and face it in like that. I was looking for one of these in blue. No, 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 no. It's 4 of these. So this one you turn in sideways and you set it in here like that. So if you're looking for these, no, that doesn't, no, you got to put those other ones in there. Just kind of tuck them in and swing them into place. But more or less, as I said, is keeping my interest, which is pretty cool. So as far as for tutorials are concerned, I got one more that I want to build, and then I got to get back into doing more reviews hardcore. But that takes care of April, May, and some other months. But at least now I have something kind of planned for you, so it should be fine. It's not coming up with the content, it's just finding the time to film the stuff. And I think I spent, after work yesterday, about 4 hours doing just those, which is fine by me. You know. This must be used to attach the oxygen tanks. But now we got to focus our attention on this side. So, I've just been kind of working on just come up with ideas. I did come up with a new tree idea. It turned out really good, and it's very strong. And boy, my throat is sure scratchy today. It wasn't scratchy in the first section, but boy, it is now. I've been fighting allergies, so that could be it. All I know is when I get done with this, I got to make a couple phone calls before these doctors close at 5 p.m. Yeah, usually they have somebody working at the front desk in these places, but lately it's like they literally have a custom message. Oh, we're on our 10-hour lunch break. We'll be back to you 10 minutes before we close, or something like that. Ooh, that's not fitting in there. Just wiggle that in. Ooh, see that right there? We can't press those down any further. You can see that gap there. If these weren't here, you could do it, but you can't. You're just going to have to go. Well, that one went in all the way. Oh, just, there we go. Just kind of mush it in there. All right. So, my intent today is to do that. In addition to that, I got some house chores I got to do. I got to redo my doors. I don't know if it was probably a fate or I kind of got roasted on this one though. I was dumping the trash and one of my neighbors is remodeling his house, and lo and behold, he is getting rid of his original doors. And these are solid mahogany doors, where mine in my house are just the presswood doors. So I went down there because it's only like a block away. I hopped in my car real quick, went down there and picked them up. I got like 15 big doors I got to figure out. And if I'm lucky, I think I have 3 extra doors, but I want to replace my doors in my house with mahogany, because 2 of them are the original color because they're supposed to be stained. The rest of them are just caked with literally years and years of paint. So I'm going to strip those down if they will work, and put them in here and get rid of the doors that I have in the house now. Also, the door jambs also need to be stained. I have a neighbor, her house is still the original. The nice oak, or not oak, mahogany door jambs and the doors. So I just got to figure out what I need to do to restore those somehow. So if I can do that, and get this place back in order. Nothing bad about having doors painted white is everybody gets their hands on them and it just looks kind of, it just leaves that nasty gray residue you have to keep washing off. Okay, now it looks like we're working on the lower torso or leg joint assembly. So that's essentially what I'm doing, and I've been thinking about just doing that. So my bunch is like, really, you're bringing junk home? I said, no, these are the doors that are original to this style of house out here, and I want to replace them. They're like the 5-panel doors, where they have like the 5 panels like this, you know, straight up. Okay. And I thought those would be really nice to refinish and put them in my house. So I don't know whose house they came from, but I was like, cool, except they had some kind of cheesy 1970s, 80s doorknobs on them. I have the little flare, the flame doorknobs, the little levers, so I'm going to keep those and just, you know, put those on there. So it's another home improvement project that I'll save for a later time, but when I saw those doors, I thought, well, I can't let those get thrown in the dump. Those are probably 60, 70-year-old doors. So I took them. They were just by the dumpster, and I thought, I'm taking those home. So I did. And no, I don't want to get confused with The Door in the Woods. If you've watched that movie, yeah, it's not just some random door. So I'm going to take those doors and I'm going to make use of them. Plus, they're real wood. They're real mahogany, so they're going to be heavy. These things are heavy. Instead of these presswood doors I got in here now. So, yeah. I got myself something. I could do that during the summer. So, I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but I just thought, oh, that'd be nice to have those. And then we need to flip this around and do that. I hope you guys and gals like the stories I tell in here. I don't want to make these just strictly Lego content, nothing more. Alright. Alrighty. I don't know if we're going to do it in 3 or 4 build installments, but I think the best way to do is to stop on this here. But, you know... Oh yeah, what's the score on this set, Jay? I think it's built very robust. I haven't had any issues with it. So, for those who are going to be very disappointed with my grading on this, I still got to leave it at a 10. It's built pretty well. It's not like I'm disappointed. I'm not bored with it. So, yeah, if you're looking for something that's really hateful, that just sits in there. All right, so we got to put the plates to lock it in there. If you're looking for something that's going to be trash talking, I'm sorry to disappoint you, you know. Jay, please, I like it when you trash talk sets. Well, you know, what today? It's not today. It might disintegrate. We don't know yet. So it's at a 10. For those who say I'm a hater and I hate every Lego set that Lego sends me, you know, my scores are just simply from that. It's interesting. At least we got some color in here. It's not just solid blue. We got some yellow buried in here. Make sure your studs are facing upwards. I'm saying that to myself too, so I don't forget. Yeah. My nephew's going to be home in a few days, so I'm hoping he doesn't keep me up all night raging at a video game. I was supposed to talk about that video game. I bought Persona 5. Okay, Jay, now you're getting into anime games. No, it's a JRPG. We'll leave it at that. Okay, now we'll set that off to the side because now we got to turn our attention to a frame. And so far, Persona 5, I really want to get back into playing that. I've only made it through, like, I don't know what day it was. Just a few days. So, I made it through 3 or 4 battles without dying. So, I haven't messed up that bad yet, but it's not a bad game. I was looking for something with a lot of good story-rich features, and I guess JRPGs have a bunch of them, or Japanese role-playing games. I'm not into multiplayer. I want something that I can play solo and just battle the world, you know, that kind of thing. That's what I'm looking for here. And I forgot to put that piece in there. Whoopsie, my bad. Oh, now I got it in there. So it's just something fun to play, something to do, and everybody in our group actually has this game, so I thought, even better. One of my friends has already beat it like 3 or 4 or 5 times, so he already knows all the tricks, where I'm like, okay, I'm new here, and I've been asking a lot of questions and stuff, but I learned something very new. And my apologies for anybody who's from Japan, but I learned a word. Manga. It sounds like some kind of made-up word. No, manga. Comic books. Well, I call them comic books anyways. Where they're like a comic book, but they don't read like a comic book. And what I was told is that you read them from right to left. Like, so reading a manga, you start from here, and you kind of just go down like that. There's ways they tell you in the book on how to read it, because I guess a lot of people, well, including myself, don't know how to read those things. So yeah, it's new. Now I'm not gonna get into mangas anytime soon. I'm not really much into reading comics. But I heard the storylines on those are pretty good, and it's not like just reading a plain novel where there's no pictures. These have a lot of black and white images, so I may incline to pick one up and see how good the reading is. Maybe we can make this into a book club. I don't know. If anybody's got any mangas you want to recommend to me, I'll see if I can find one and just kind of read it and get myself away from the screen like I'm doing now. You know. Yeah. Manga. I was pronouncing it wrong. I mentioned something else, like somebody says, oh, no, don't say it like that, dude. You're saying something completely different. I'm like, oh, is it bad? He goes, yeah, it's kind of bad. It's like, okay, I won't say it that anymore. So that's what I did. And now we got to put these two pieces together. Oh, okay. You know what? It'd been nice if they made this kind of stud-like. It's almost like this is like modular here. I don't know if this is compatible with other ones, but just this alone here looks like a torso. If we had the hands on it, would have been done, but that's it for this installment. So yeah, well, that's it. Let me put my bookmark in here. And yeah, not too bad at all. Okay, summation of thoughts. And honestly, when I first impressions, it just it looked awesome, but just more of a display piece. But building this is actually pretty fun. Now, I'm not into space figures at all, let alone minifigures, but I'm not really into space like I was when I was a kid. But just using this color palette alone brings back a lot of memories. And if you're looking for something that's a group build, I don't think this one is a group build at the moment. But it seems like bags 1 and 2 are just that. But we're still missing a couple of parts here. So, yeah, I mean, we haven't done a whole lot, but tell me what you think so far.